Well, hello everyone. This is going to be quite the video. Maybe the runtime will display that. I don't really know how long it's going to be. I'm filming this. But I have 3 shelves that I use for video games. And they're all physical video games, of course. So I thought, well, what if I show off every single physical video game I own? All in one video, all 3 shelves. So, we're gonna do that. So, let's start with shelf number 1. 3 empty shelves that stop right here. So, let's start off with Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. The Switch games are what we're starting off with. And, a pretty great game, honestly. Pretty great game. Really great platforming. Really great platforming. It's super tight, but it's fun, and even though it's insanely difficult, I keep on coming back to it. And I only really gave up once, but that was after, playing it for 3 or 4 hours straight, and I was just, tired of it, got burnt out, but really great. So, there we go. Cruisin' Blast, really great game. Really great game. This is an arcade game. If you go to a place like Dave & Buster's or your local movie theater, you'll probably see a Cruisin' Blast available, playing its absolutely incredible theme song that is super catchy. It's literally 4 lines, but it's so catchy that it'll get stuck in your head. Really great game. Super fast, high octane, just insane arcade racer. There's levels where a dinosaur just randomly comes out of nowhere and starts driving along. You can play as a Triceratops. You can play as a helicopter, but it controls like a car. You can play as a school bus, which, that's not super crazy, but still. It's a great, super fun, super fast arcade racer. Really fun. The only downside to it is, since it's an arcade racer, races only last about a minute to a minute and a half, which you really want more out of it. There are a lot more races than the normal arcade machine, which is good, but not enough. It still only really lasts 2, maybe 3 hours if you're lucky. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, absolutely great. If I had this on the Wii U, I'd be saying it's insanely difficult and kind of not fun because of it, but new, funky mode. Funky Kong just makes this game actually playable and really fun. Some of the things I do get kind of annoyed by, he can land on spikes without getting hurt, which I'm like, okay, that's a bit much. Any spiked enemies he can just jump on. But, the breathing underwater is really a nice touch, especially since, the original Donkey Kong games didn't have an air supply, but now suddenly Country, the Returns and Tropical Freeze does. Kind of annoying, but that fixes it, since there's no air supply meter. And, of course, makes the game so much easier and so much more accessible to play. So, great game. I only recommend the Switch version. I've had the Wii U version before, and it's just insanely difficult. I think if I can remember, I only really got to maybe the 3rd world max before it just started getting insanely challenging. Next up, Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. Just absolutely fantastic game. And it's funny because I'm not a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts. I have one of the games, the first game, which we'll get onto much later when we get to the 3rd shelf. But this game I really enjoy, and mainly because, one, I really love the music in Kingdom Hearts. There's not a ton of songs that I like, but the songs that are there are just so freaking good. But also, this entire game, it's all rhythm games, but it's set up in a story mode fashion, and it explains certain parts of the game in chronological order. So it's great if you're a person that, maybe you only played the first game and you're like, oh, I'm good, I'm not going to continue on. Or maybe you just don't like Kingdom Hearts, gameplay-wise. This explains mostly everything that's happening. There's still some things that are kind of strange, but it's all narrated by Kyrie, and it's pretty cool. It's a really really fun game. The only thing I have against it is Kingdom. All the Kingdom Hearts games have a ton of music from them, but then Kingdom Hearts 3, there's only like 6 tracks, which I find really strange. Like, shouldn't there be more than that? Like Kingdom Hearts 3, in the story mode, the only ones you do is like one song from Frozen, one song from the Toy Story world, one song from the Monsters Inc. world, and just like one song from each area, and then like the final boss music. And I'm like, really? Like, shouldn't there be more than that? Unless all the other songs are reused from other games, which that would be insulting, but I believe that's not true. So like here you see Elsa. It's like, yay, that's only one song. Only one Frozen song. I think maybe 2, I kind of forgot. But still, great game overall. Really fantastic game. Kirby Star Allies. Pretty good game. Actually, you know what? It's better than pretty good. This is probably my favorite Kirby game. I love the friend ability. It's so much fun. Makes the game a lot easier, which is nice. But also you can tag along Adeline and, you know, King Dedede and all the other cool characters. You get to play as like you get to tag along the animal friends from Kirby's Dream Land 2, which is cool. Just a really amazing game. I love the characters. Characters are kind of cool. The only problem is it's a bit on the lacking. It's a bit lacking of variety. I guess that's a huge thing. For example, so most Kirby games have, like, let's say 6 worlds. One is, you know, a grass world, one's a water world, you know, you get the gist. This game instead has like 1 level from each world, and it does feel, you know, long because there's a lot of, it's like, it basically only has like 3 worlds, but there's a lot of levels in each world that range from, you know, maybe there's 2 water levels, 2 fire levels, 2, it's like all 6 worlds condensed into like 20 levels from 1 world, which it's just kind of jarring, but not super bad. I still played it recently and had a lot of fun. So it's still a really amazing game. And I do want to mention, I wouldn't even own this game if it weren't for the fact that Super Mario Odyssey wasn't available. I had just gotten my Switch in 2018, and I was looking for games, and I went for Mario Odyssey, and they said, well, we don't have it available. So I looked and saw Kirby, and I was like, okay, I'll get Kirby. And I'm so glad I did. I ended up getting Mario Odyssey later, which I will explain how I got that game. It's a funny story. Lego The Incredibles, pretty cool, but a lot of issues. For one, and this is a really annoying issue, especially since I love the first movie better, they forced you to play the second movie first. And I'm like, why? I want to go chronologically. Why am I playing the second movie and then go back to the first movie? Especially since, in my opinion, the first movie is 10 times better than Incredibles 2. I did not really... I mean, it's fine enough, and I can play a video game format of it. I don't really like to watch the movie. I watched it once in theaters. I said, that was alright, and then I never watched it again. And another issue, and this is just an issue with the source material, is it's not super fitted to be a Lego game. What I mean by that is, 1, character designs. The Incredibles have these, like, you know, super skinny legs, super huge, you know, bodies. It's very, for lack of a better term, flexible. I don't know. It's like, it's very unique. And that's something that some characters look alright, like Mr. Incredible. Some characters just look dumb, like Violet, where Violet's like this really skinny character that's kind of tall. She's just a normal Lego character, which just doesn't really, it just looks kind of strange. And also they have guest characters in this game, and some of them look good. Like they have Bing Bong from Inside Out, and he looks pretty cool in Lego form. They actually made him, like, they added stuff to him to make it look good. Woody is in here though, and he's literally just a full-size Lego character. And of course, Woody, he's like a tiny figure. like a tiny, you know, doll. And he's also got really spindly legs, but he's just like a normal figure here, and I'm like, the art style just doesn't work. But secondly, the Incredibles films, especially the second one, only really revolve around one character at a time. Like, for example, The Incredibles 2, Mrs. Incredible is the main focus, and then when she's not the focus, Mr. Incredible is the main focus, and normally there's not two characters at the same time. In The Incredibles 1, Mr. Incredible is the main focus, and then, you know, you get along the line, and then the rest of the family comes in. So there's a lot of inconsistencies that they bring into the plot. Like, for example, when Mr. Incredible is alone on the island, well, he's not alone. Frozone's there. And Frozone's like, oh, I got the same call you did, and I was invited here too. And it's like, okay, that does nothing to the plot. It's never brought up again. Like, they write it out by saying that, like, after the first robot was destroyed, Frozone's like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go back home. and that's how they write it out. And then what's something even funnier is when you're sneaking into the base, they have it to where Gazer Beam never died. And they have it to where he's alive, but, like, he has brain damage and he forgets things, like, constantly. And I'm like, so you resurrected a character from the movie because you couldn't find a way to have two characters? It just doesn't fit as a Lego game. You know, the game itself is fun. It's got, you know, it's Lego. It's a good game. And, you know, it covers source material that I really enjoy, like the first movie, but it just doesn't seem really cut out to be a Lego game. And they really had to force things in and change things around to make it a Lego game. Anyway, Mario Golf Super Rush. You know, I know people don't like this game, but you know what? I freaking loved it. I love the World Tour mode. It was really nice to play. Playing with a friend, or in this case my dad, because he loves golf. So it was really nice. It's like the one game that we can really play multiplayer and he has fun with it. And, you know, the Super Rush mode was pretty cool. I really do enjoy it. The only problem with this game that I have is the cross-country levels. They are one of the most annoying freaking things imaginable. With how the tornadoes are like you use tornadoes to throw your ball into the air, except it's really inconsistent and barely works, and normally your balls hit off from like a mountain ledge and then land in the most inconvenient spot possible. It's just avoid those levels at all. Other than that, this game's really great. It sucks, though, because the story mode does have cross-country levels, so about halfway through the story mode, you have to just say, well, I'm done. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. How did I get this game? Well, funny story. I had a friend. And I'm so glad he asked me first. If you are watching Mr. Friend, I'll disclose his first name. I mean, you know, if I don't disclose his last name, you don't know exactly who it is. His name's Eric. And he came to me one day, and like I said, I'm so glad I'm the first one that he asked. He said, hey, I got these Switch games, you want them? And I'm like, sure, what you got? You know, I was expecting, like, I don't know, a Lego game, a licensed game. No, he goes, here's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I like Mario Kart Wii, but I don't like this one. Do you want it? And I'm like, shoot, yeah, how much are you going for? And he's like, like $30. And I was like, well, I only make $10 a week, you know, allowance at the time. So, you know, in 3 weeks' time, please, you know, hold the game for me, and, you know, and I'll buy it. And then, like, a day later, he's like, look, I just want the money. Do you want it for $10? And I'm like, sure. So I paid $10 for this, at a time when it was full price. I mean, it's still full price. So, really, like, just amazing. Thank you, Eric. It's, like, such a great price. And it's a great game, especially with the DLC that's coming out. What can I say? You know, it's Mario Kart 8, except way better. It's got the Inkling, the boy and girl. Mario Tennis Aces. I have a good amount of problems with this, mainly the difficulty. Sometimes it is brutal and really annoying. The boss battles, while some of them are fun, some of them are brutal and really annoying. But, you know, it's good enough for me to keep it. I think there's enough there. But definitely this is very narrowing on bad for me. Like, there's a lot of issues. Story mode sucks. I hate the story mode structure. I hate the missions that they make you do. But the online's fun. It's still going. I can still get people online, and, you know, it's tennis. But, you know, stick to Mario Power Tennis or Mario Tennis Aces, which I don't have, which is why I'm keeping Mario Tennis Aces. Or stick to Mario Power Tennis or Mario Tennis Open. But I don't have either of those, so that's why I keep Aces. Probably once I get Power Tennis or Open, I'll probably sell Aces. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. I did not pay $60 for this. I paid $40. It was on sale. Great game. What can I say? Really, really fantastic. And, of course, my favorite Mario character is included, so I had to buy it. Really great. I specifically avoid Peachette for the most part. Because Peachette just replaces the acorn. Toadette can use every other item in the game. So normally I just avoid Peachette and then I just wait until, you know, a Fire Flower comes up. But great game. Pac-Man Museum Plus. This came out last year. And, was it really worth my $30? I don't really know. Mainly I bought this. I think it was on Game Pass for free. And my dad has Game Pass, and I was like, hey, let me download this. I want to check it out. And I really liked the arcade aesthetic, how you could, like, build up your arcade. And I really liked the graphics, and I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and play it. And I don't know. The arcade aesthetic is nice, but what's here is not that great. You got Pac-Man, which is available on literally everything. Pac-and-Pow, which sucks. Super Pac-Man, which sucks. Pac-Land is pretty cool, but I already owned it. Pac-Mania is alright, but again, it's on a lot of different things. Pac-Attack is the SNES version. I love the PS1 version. That's the one I grew up with. That's the one that has the great music. That's the one I always play. So I never play this version. I played it once. I said, this music sucks. And I stopped playing it. Pac-in-Time is alright, if a bit weird. Pac-in-Time is alright. It's a nice, you know, it's a nice version. The game's pretty expensive normally, so having it here is nice. But do I want to play it very often? Again, it's very strange. The controls really take some getting used to. Pac-Man Arrangement, that's pretty good. Pac-Man... Oh, there's two. There's Pac-Man Arrangement and then Pac-Man Arrangement. What's the difference with these two? That's weird. Oh, I think that might be the Game Boy Advance version. That might be the arcade version. Huh. Pac-Man Championship Edition, Great Edition. Or, Great Edition. Pac-Man Championship Edition is a great addition. Yeah. But a great addition to the game, because it is a very fun game. I grew up with that. But I have it on Xbox 360. I do like the Switch more, but, you know. Pac-Moto sucks. Pac-and-Roll Remix sucks. Pac-Man Battle Royale you can't play unless you have 2 or more players. And Pac-Man 256 is a free iPhone game that works way better as an iPhone game than a console game. Yeah, I mean, there's things that I like about it, but was it worth my $30? I don't know. But I will say, you know, even though I already own a lot of these games, for the sake of it, if I ever think about playing games like Pac-Man or Pac-Mania again, I'll play the Switch version just to kind of give this some more playtime. But I think for $30, I don't know, I feel like that could have been like maybe a $20 deal, you know, $20 downloadable only title. Paper Mario the Origami King, paid $53 for it. It took me so long to spend time in this game. Seriously, like, I own this. I've owned this since probably like mid last year, maybe July last year, August, and it took me till like a month ago to finally spend time in this game, and it's great. It's really, really great. It's a really fun RPG, with, you know, great characters, great humor, and really fun gameplay. It is a very, very great RPG. Really, really check it out. Really good story as well. River City Girls, I got this from Limited Run, my one and only Limited Run game, and the only reason it's my one and only is because I hate Limited Run. Seriously, I had to wait like 4 months after this game released to finally get this copy in. And it's like, yeah, it's cool, it comes with the manual, it's physical, but I had to pay like twice as much money as the digital copy, and I had to wait 4 months. That's not worth it. I thought it was worth it when I was buying it, but afterwards I'm like, yeah, I'm never doing that again. It's a really fun beat 'em up. The only problem is it's insanely difficult. You can get through it fairly well if you just abuse items. If you just, like, start just, you know, powering on the items, I feel like you could get through it fairly easily. But especially one player, this is a very challenging game. Even two player. I remember the second boss in the game, I was like having so much trouble in, so I had a friend come in, which is also experienced with 2D fighters, or 2D beat 'em ups, and it was like insanely challenging, even for both of us to get through it. And finally, we managed to get through it after many, many tries. So, do I like it? Yeah, but especially now at this point, if I ever want to play this again, it takes a lot of motivation for me to actually spend time in it. Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz HD, and Sonic Forces 2-pack. Looks like a freaking package of chips with the way that this is labeled. This is very recent. I got this, you know, post-Christmas, a buy two, get one free sale. And I was like, oh, I found 2 games. What do I get? Third game. Okay, $20. Sure. I already own Sonic Forces on PS4, but I remember Banana Blitz HD. I used to own it on PS4. And while difficult, I do remember it being a little bit fun. And I wasn't going to get it, but this was like $20. And I was like, well, for $20, getting both of this is my preferred copy of Sonic Forces, the Switch version. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll get it. But I haven't played Monkey Ball on here yet. I've only played the PS4 version. I just played a little bit of Forces, just played a little bit of it just to make sure it works and stuff. Sonic Mania Plus, the European version. Yeah, on Amazon they only sell the European version. So, what can I say that nobody else has said? This game's fantastic. This game is absolutely amazing. Really, really fantastic platformer. Well, it's fantastic, but I think I kind of burned myself out of it. I played this so much on the PS4 that when I got the Switch version, I'm like, cool. I played one playthrough and I haven't really touched it since. I think I did a little bit of Encore mode, but that was about it. So yeah, I think I just kind of burned myself out from it. Splatoon 2 for $49.99. I love keeping stickers on these things. Like it's, I just like seeing like when I bought them and how much I paid for them. It's a great game. Originally, I had a copy that had the cover, and I bought it for $35 off of a friend, which was great. Thank you, Aiden. But I made the really stupid decision of saying, at the time, I had Splatoon on Wii U. So I said, well, I don't play the online enough. I'll just sell Splatoon 2 and keep Splatoon 1. And then months later, I said, crap, I want to play Splatoon online, and I don't have Splatoon 2. And Splatoon 1 servers, I mean, you can go online, but good luck finding people. You can go online, and there are people online, but good luck finding people that aren't, like, level 99. I know the servers are going down soon, but when I was playing online, not when I first played online. This is, like, a second copy of Splatoon 1. Yeah, it's me and selling things. My second copy of Splatoon 1, I played online, like, you know, early 2021, and, no joke, you'd get into a lobby and it would all be Japanese players that are like level 99. So it wasn't even fun. And of course, you know, no community aspect of it because, you know, Miiverse is offline. So I was like, alright, I gotta get Splatoon 2. I can't play Splatoon online with this. It's not fun. Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Used to have a PS4 version, but got this off of another person for like 20 bucks. So I'm like, yeah, sure. It's fantastic. Fantastic game. Really love Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Amazing platformer. I've spent a ton of time in Spyro 1, not so much in Spyro 2 and 3, although I have played the PS1 version of Spyro 3 a lot. Spyro 2 I never really got into, but Spyro 1 and 3, fantastic. I need to play more of 3 on this thing. Mario Maker 2, I know where I got this. I was trying to remember where I got this from. My brother was going to buy a Switch, and he couldn't find it anywhere. This was when, like, Switch popularity was at its peak, and you could never find a Switch. So he managed to find one on Facebook that was selling it, and he was selling it with a couple of games, one of them being Mario Maker 2. And he doesn't care for it, so I was like, hey, I'll buy it off you for 20 bucks, and there you go. And it's fun. You know, it's nice to go online, play some new levels. I don't really... there's things that I think are better in the first one, there's things that I think are better in this one. Overall, it's good. I kind of wish that there was, like, a best of both worlds. Like, you know, a director's cut that includes both the best things from Mario Maker 1 and the best things of Mario Maker 2. But mainly, and I think a big issue with this, and this is just a me thing, I was super into Mario Maker when it came out and when I was using Miiverse. Now, it's still fun, but I kind of lost that, like, wow factor of playing it the first time. There we go, Super Mario Odyssey. I paid $10 of this from Eric. 10 bucks. And I was like, I even told him, like, hey, this is a really good game. You sure you want to sell this? And he's like, yeah, I like Mario Galaxy, but I never really got into this. And I'm like, okay, sure. And just absolutely fantastic game. I spent, like 60 hours in this. This game's amazing. Amazing. I think I've done, like, 2.5 playthroughs, and I'll gladly do a third. Absolutely great. I mean, just fantastic 3D platformer. Team Sonic Racing, I pre-ordered this one. It's an alright racer. I mean, I think Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing is better, but I actually think I prefer this to All-Stars Racing Transformed. So, you know, it's a fun racer. The online sucks. Even when it released, there was barely anybody online. Which sucks, and now there's literally nobody online. But I like the customization aspect of it. The story mode sucks, so I mainly just go back and do cups whenever I play this game, but yeah, pretty good. I good racing, and lots of good tracks, but some of them are, you know, recycled from All-Star Racing Transform, so it's like, WarioWare, Get It Together. I need to play more of this. I bought it brand new. I really wanted it. I played it for about, I'd say, like an hour and a half, and I kind of dropped off of it and started doing other things, and I'm like, no, I want to go back to this. I want to play more of it, but I guess I'll do that at some point. But it's a really good WarioWare game. I still think Gold is my favorite. I think Gold is a fantastic WarioWare game, but this one's still really good. I really like the gimmicks that they have. Great cover art, by the way. So there's WarioWare. Finally, the last Switch game, Yoshi's Crafted World, is it's okay. I think it gets kind of boring after a little while. This is, for one, not my first copy. The first copy I pre-ordered, and then I sold it, and then this is my second copy that I paid 40 bucks for. Actually, funny story with this. I paid 40 bucks for it, bought it on GameStop.com, and I waited like 2 weeks, and I'm like, where is this thing? Come to find out, it's in California. They went to the wrong address, like 5 states away, so I don't really know how that happened. So then it had to be shipped back from California to where I live, and it was just a pain in the butt, and it took me like a full month and a half to get this. And was it worth it? It's okay. I think I like the ideas of it, but I think it really gets kind of stale after a while. It's a very long game, and that's kind of a bad thing. I think it's too slow and too basic to be that long of a game. It's like a 10-15 hour journey when it really should only be like 6 or 7. Now we get on to the Dreamcast games. I love how we're not even halfway done. It's been 30 minutes. Get ready. Actually, what I might end up doing, and I'll put this in the description, is I might do one shelf, and then another shelf, and then another shelf, and not make it one long video. But we'll see. I mean, if my phone can handle an hour-long video... Ready to Rumble Boxing. It's the first Sega Dreamcast game, and it's alright. I was desperate for Dreamcast games. They didn't have a whole lot where I was looking, but they had Ready to Rumble, so I said, yeah, sure, I'll get Ready to Rumble. It's to be honest, it's not that great of a fighting game. It's very basic. Nothing really, unique about it. But, it's a Dreamcast game when there was barely any available, so, I took what I could find. Sega Rally 2, Sega Rally Championship, great game. Great game. Really, really great. You'd think, oh, well, it's just an out-of-date rally game. No, this game is really, really fantastic. Really, really fun arcade rally racing game. Really, really great fun. Really, just fantastic game. It's one that I come back to a lot. I think it's made by the Daytona USA devs. That's probably why it's so good. Oh, just dropped a card. Sorry. Sega Sports World Series Baseball 2K2. Again, you might think this is just an out-of-date sport ball. It's sport ball. Sport ball. That should be a new sport. Baseball game, but no, this game is actually really, really fun. Surprisingly good. I mean, like seriously, I bought it because it was $1, and I was like, oh, I'm not expecting much, but no, it's actually really, really fun. The best part about this disc is kind of scratched, so sometimes it won't work, but when eventually it does work, all of the audio is messed up. So you'll hear the announcers like, "Sport, going to the first base," and it's a whole. It's just like it's just, but it's Soul Calibur. Now this is the pinnacle of Dreamcast games. Absolutely fantastic. I was so glad to find this. It was really hard finding Dreamcast games. That baseball game I got after my initial Dreamcast games list, but this one was fantastic to find. Amazing game. Basically, when I think of Dreamcast, along with Sonic Adventure and along with Power Stone, Soul Calibur is the thing that pops in my head. Absolutely fantastic beat 'em up. Now this is an odd one. I'm surprised I found it. Space Channel 5 for $24, which is very strange. I never would have expected to find Space Channel 5. I thought this game was really rare, but given its price, I mean, maybe it's not? Well, I'm keeping it because it's a Dreamcast game, but if this wasn't a Dreamcast game and it was like a PS2 game, yeah, this is a bad game. I mean, maybe I'm not alone on this thing, but this is insanely challenging. It is Rhythm Heaven DS levels of precise. It's a rhythm game where if you are 2.5 milliseconds off, you count it as a miss. It is so insanely challenging. I never even got past the first stage, and I played it like 8 times. So, yeah, if it wasn't a Dreamcast game, if this was like a PS2 game or, a PS4 game, I'd probably just sell it. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I already have this on Switch, but since I was desperate for Dreamcast games, I said, okay, I'll get it. And it's a fantastic version. It's a fantastic game. Really, really fun. Probably the best thing that came out of Episode 1. And that's not a complaint, because Episode 1 is, like, perfect. No, actually, I've actually watched Episode 1 a lot, and I kind of enjoy it. But this is a really great game. Oh, hold on, what does it say there? Upload your high score through the Sega Dreamcast Network. Yes! I can't wait to upload my 2022 best times. It's a new lap record. That's something you'll hear a lot with Star Wars Episode 1. And finally, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, $15. I said, you know what? I'll get it. I can't pass up that deal. And it's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but you know what? And I hate to say it because it's Dreamcast, and I love the Dreamcast, but I grew up on the N64 version. I like the N64 version better. I don't know. One, I think the controller it so fits the game. And two, and this is a very weird enjoyment, but I just enjoy it. I like the fact that the songs are in the game, they're compressed, and they're only like 1.5 minute renditions. I don't know, I'm weird like that, but I enjoy that more than this, especially since the N64 version, you couldn't change the music. So the first song that pops up in the N64 version in the first stage, well, the only song that pops up in the first stage is Superman by Goldfinger, which that is like the Tony Hawk theme for me. That's the song that I immediately associate. But on the Dreamcast, a random song has popped up. So every time I go into that first stage, I have to go, oh, let me go down the song list. Let me try and find the song. And there's so many songs in the game that you're searching. Okay, here's Superman by Goldfinger. Now I can play the game. So while I really enjoy this Dreamcast version, if I find an N64 version, as much as I enjoy the Dreamcast, I'm gonna buy that N64 version and sell the Dreamcast version. It pains me to say it because I love the Dreamcast and I don't have a lot of games for it, but Superman. And that's it for the Dreamcast games. Again, Space Channel 5 and Sega Sports were bought later, so literally when I first bought the Dreamcast, I could only find... I could only find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, which, you know, I want kind of more than that when I buy a system. Now, on to the DS games. We have got Disney 2-pack, Big Hero 6, Battle in the Bay, and Frozen Olaf's Quest. The worst version of both of these games. I found it for $10, and I just recently bought a DSi, and I was like, shoot, I'll get it. I enjoy both of these. Big Hero 6 being one of the most basic fighting games you will ever play, with some of the most horrendous music you will ever hear on a DS. Lovely. And Frozen is... again, one of the most basic platformers you'll ever play. It is baby easy, literally. You only have to run and jump and you can win the game. And also you move at such a slow pace and there are so little obstacles that, yeah, it is baby easy. But you know what? I have fun with it. It's baby easy, I don't care. You know what games I play? It's like, baby easy is fine enough for me. Lego Batman, the video game, $5, no manual. Sorta. It actually includes, it's interesting, a tiny strategy guide. That includes a strategy guide for the DS version and the console version. I just find that kind of strange, kind of cool and strange that it actually includes that. So it has no memory card, but it has like this, maybe it was like a pre-order bonus, maybe? It's an alright Lego game. I mean, you know, it's early DS Lego game, so it's got that kind of strange DS style. It was before games like Lego Lord of the Rings and Lego Batman 2 kind of, you know, had this formula set for Lego games. Well, actually, I say that. Lego games kind of evolved or devolved, depending on your opinion on it. You know, so like the GBA games, you had a couple of GBA games, and there were these like top-down weird games. And then you had the DS games, which for a while were these same engine, and these kind of strange ones that had a weird art style. Not a weird art style, but just looked kind of strange and played kind of strange. And, you know, Lego Indiana Jones, Lego Batman, and Lego Indiana Jones 2, and had that style. And then... or Lego Batman 2. And then, like, Lego Batman 2 changed it up a little bit. Lego Lord of the Rings changed it up a bit. It's just a weird thing. They kind of go all over the place. It's not like console Lego games where it's, like, the same thing. But it's an alright Lego game. I think Lego Indiana Jones is actually better. But I don't have that game anymore because I'm a moron. So, it's Lego Batman. Madagascar Escape to Africa for $5.99. It's actually a pretty fun platformer. Yeah, the music is actually surprisingly good. It's a very strange soundtrack. Kind of reminds me of Sonic Rush with how just strange it is. But it's a pretty fun platformer. It's fully voice acted, which is pretty cool for the DS. Yeah, for $5.99, you get your money's worth and more. Mario Kart DS. You can't have a DS library without Mario Kart DS. And I'm going to be honest, I have no idea where I got this game from. I don't think I bought it off of a person. I don't think I bought it at a video game store. I genuinely have no idea where I got this game from. Maybe a garage sale, maybe? I don't know. But absolutely fantastic game, of course. You know, you played Mario Kart DS before. You know, it's fantastic. Waluigi Pinball, Rainbow Road, you know, Yoshi Falls, all the good stuff. Mario Party DS, a pretty great entry, honestly. This is a great Mario Party game on the go. And I remember, you know, a couple times actually playing this with friends because it's got download play. And really great handheld Mario Party game. Way better than Island Tour, which I have that too. But Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension for $5.99. It's a pretty good game, actually. It's a surprisingly good platformer. It's kind of basic, kind of slow, but I think it's pretty good. And again, full voice acting and fairly good music. I think it's although it's a different publisher, I think it's the same team that did Madagascar 2 because there's a lot of similar things to Madagascar 2. Rhythm Heaven. I don't like this game very much. I know how I got this game. Thank you, Bryce, for giving it to me for literally free. He just had it. He literally had it, and I was like, "Can I have it?" And he's like, "Sure, why not?" Because he never played it. Yeah, there's a couple things I like about this, a ton of things I don't like about this. It's pretty imprecise. It all uses the touchscreen. So for a rhythm game that requires you to, like, you know, move and swing around, yeah, I mean, you know, a rhythm game that just requires you to tap, okay, that's fine. But a rhythm game that requires you to do a lot of movements, this game is very imprecise. So it's very imprecise along with having, like, 0.5 of a femtosecond if you get it, you know, if you mess it up and you'll get it wrong. So it's extremely strict and very imprecise, which leads to, honestly, in my opinion, a pretty crap game. There's only like one song in this game I like to play. And why do I still own it? I think possibly because it's a rhythm-heavy game and there's very few of them out there. But honestly, once I get the chance, I'm selling that because I do not like that game at all. Game I do like, Sonic Rush. Really great, really amazing soundtrack, really fun gameplay, new character, Blaze, really great bosses, surprisingly good boss. Probably some of my favorite in the entire series. The bosses in this game are like fantastic. Of course, you know the flaws, you know, bottomless pits, stuff like that. But you know, you get past those. It's a pretty great game. Pretty great game. Also, probably one of my favorite final bosses in Sonic history. It's got a great final boss, great music. You know, great style of how it goes too. SpongeBob Lance Corpantis for $9.99. You know what? I'm gonna say that every time I see a price. It's an alright game. I have a lot of nostalgia for it. I don't know if it's like an amazing game, but I have a ton of nostalgia for it, so it has that going for it. Yeah, you know, it's it. There you go. It's got a lot of nostalgia. It's an alright 3D platformer. Ram did a Let's Play on it, and it was the first Let's Play I ever watched from him, so, you know, it's got some nostalgia not only from when I had it as a kid, but also when I watched Ram for the first time. Super Mario 64 DS. Bought this off of a guy for $7. Thank you, whoever I bought it from, because I genuinely forgot your name. He was a friend, and I forgot his name. He was Irish. That was the only... He claimed to be Irish. Well, he was of Irish origins. There you go. And the only thing I remember is that he was of Irish origins, and he really liked the game Papers, Please, which... I don't know anybody else who likes that game. Anyway. Or was he Russian origins? No, I think it was Irish. No. Russian is Papers, Please, because the song sound... Whatever. Great game. Absolutely great game. People argue about the D-pad. I don't really see it as that big an issue. I just bought a DSi. I had the D-pad, and I don't see it as that bad. Just a great game. Really great. Really fantastic game. WarioWare DIY. This goes for, I think it's kind of expensive nowadays, actually. Pretty great, pretty fun game, but just kind of annoying. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go make myself a game, but it's not as something as simple like Mario Maker. It's got a lot of steps involved. You gotta, like, you know, make your own music, that's easy. But then you gotta, like, it's kind of very, very, very basic coding, but coding nonetheless. And it's kind of annoying sometimes because, like, you know, maybe you haven't played it in a few months and you go, oh, I'm going to make a game. And then you start to make it and you're like, oh, right, maybe I won't make a game today. So, yeah. And of course, being like a game maker, you can only do very basic games, very basic games. I mean, you know, WarioWare is known for basic games, but you can't do anything more than like make a stick man go across, or press this button and something will happen. Press these two buttons, and like something that basic. You know, it's not like one of those like the WarioWare Gold mini game where you're having to mash A to like keep the door shut. You can't do stuff like that here. Actually, there are no button prompts at all. It's all touch based. So yeah, but there is, you can make like a comics, for literally 4-panel comics. So it's not like you can do much, but it's an alright, decent little game. It's fun to kind of, finally make your first game, maybe make a second one, come back 4 months later and forget you ever did anything on this, and then be like, oh, there's the game I made. Animal Crossing, that's, oh, by the way, hold on, before we get to that. Extra DS games, yeah, and a 3DS game. I have this little case. Crash of the Titans, it's an alright. Again, the exact same developers as Madagascar. It's fully voice acted. The gameplay is extremely similar to Madagascar 2, so it's obviously the exact same developers. The menus are the exact same. It's really funny how much is taken from Madagascar 2. Or did this come out first? This came out first. Madagascar 2 was 2008. This was 2007. Okay. Cool to know. Thank you, me, for just now remembering that. It's pretty fun. It's kind of like the console version, but a bit slower, and actually it's more like a Crash game. It's actually a very linear 3D platformer. Very much like the early Crash games. Kirby Mass Tag, absolutely fantastic game. Really, really fantastic game. I love it, I love it, I love it. Tons of nostalgia with this one. Great music, great game. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, very strange on the DS. It's a very interesting version. But it's got like, the control, I guess the physics are different. Your car handles differently. But I played this version a lot. For a while, it was my only version of Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. But if you can see, you see these kind of ripples on the cartridge. This one's been through the ringer. I don't mean that as like a washing machine. I just mean that as when I bought it, it was kind of gross looking. And because of that, yeah, it takes a couple of, you might want to blow the cartridge a lot or stick it in a bunch of times before it actually reads. Sonic Colors, great game. Keeping on the tradition of Sonic Rush, it's a great game. Less bottomless pits, which is great. It's a fantastic Sonic game, really great. Sonic Rush Adventure, the exact, just same notes as Sonic Colors. It's an amazing game. I love the storyline. Music's really great. All's good. And then, I guess I'll show this off since I'm about to go to the 3DS games. LEGO Marvel Superheroes Universe in Peril. It's an alright game. It was, speaking of LEGO games, changing their style with, LEGO Batman, LEGO Marvel Superheroes was the first game to have a top-down perspective. They only did this for about 4 or 5 games before swapping to a different style of LEGO games. But, it's weird because, you only have 1 life per level, and it's top-down, but the levels are, super short. They're only, 2 or 3 minutes long, so it's a strange little circumstance. Interesting game. Only that, LEGO The Hobbit, LEGO Ninjago Shadow of Ronin, no, Nindroids, LEGO Ninjago Nindroids, and the Lego Movie had that style. Everything after that goes for a different style. And it goes for that same style until the Switch came out and just, no more handheld exclusives. Animal Crossing New Leaf, fantastic game. What more can I say? I've spent so many hours on this game. And especially since I don't have New Horizons, this is, my go-to Animal Crossing game still, and it's just absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It's also helped by the fact that one of my friends hacked his game. So I was like, hey, buddy, can you come over to my town and give me 4,000 bells really quickly? There's something on sale that I really want to get. So he would just come over and give me a ton of money. But we also played, online. Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, great game. Not as easy as Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, but the added 6 hearts really, really make it easy. And this is a great game. Played it multiple times. Absolutely adore this game. I played it more than Tropical Freeze. I remember playing this game a lot at school. Great game. Fire Emblem Fates Birthright, love this game, never finished it, and here's why. I got to the end, and I'm playing this on, like, safe mode, so it's very, very easy. I got to the end, and the final boss is so insanely challenging. Like, if you're playing on, like, you know, normal or hard mode, it's fine. It's like a gradual. But I think the boss is the exact same difficulty on any difficulty you play, so it goes from being really easy and then, like, hard mode. So I just kind of stopped there. I was like, I could try this a few more times, but I don't really care. But really fantastic game. I played this a ton. I absolutely love this game. It's my first Fire Emblem game, and in my opinion, it's a really amazing game. I really makes me want to try out Three Houses at some point. But just absolutely fantastic game. I played a ton of this at school. Like, it's just weird dude in the back playing anime game on his 3DS after the Switch was released. Kirby Battle Royale. Very late release for the system, and it's fun. I like it. It gets old kind of quick, but, you know, it's fun. It's just kind of like rapid-fire mini-games kind of thing. Kind of reminds me of, actually, it really reminds me of Megamind Mega Team Unite, which I do also own, and I will get to that probably in another video, because this video is almost 1 hour long. Yeah, we're not doing all 3 shelves, my god. I didn't expect this to take so long. We're just gonna do this shelf, and then another video will be this, another video will be this, and then we'll go on from there. But it really reminds me of Megamind Mega Team Unite, except way better, of course, because, you know, it's not a licensed game. But yeah, pretty fun, but, you know, like I said, kind of gets old a bit quick. But I remember buying this, it was on sale, it was on clearance for $10, and I think now it's like $40. I think it's Rosen up. Rosen? That's not a word. Michael Rosen? Nice. No, it's risen up in price recently, I think. Kirby Planet Robobot. I originally had this game a long time ago. A friend gave it to me for I don't know how much. Thank you, Cameron. I love how I'm remembering their names, except for that one guy that I forgot his name. When I first bought it, I absolutely loved it, and I played a ton of it. I bought it recently again, and I haven't played anything of it. I've played maybe one world. I don't know. I just did not feel the urge to play this that much. I don't know. Even though it is a really great game. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Kirby game. Actually, it's kind of lower on the list. Especially after playing, like, Triple Deluxe again. I'm like, yeah, I kind of think this is a bit slower. Anyway, $34.99 recently. I bought that, like, last year, maybe a year before. I don't know. Really debated on selling that, too. I just don't know. I don't really have a motivation. Speaking of Kirby Triple Deluxe, here it is. I absolutely love this game. I love it to bits. It is a very, very, very good Kirby game. In my opinion, like I said, it's like number 2 behind Star Allies. People say it's too basic. I don't freaking care. It's a really, really enjoyable Kirby game. Really, really great. Really great platformer. Now, here's the style of LEGO game I was talking about. LEGO Jurassic World. Hasmanuel. Thanks, Hasmanuel. You're covering Chris Pratt and the one lady that I forgot. I'm thinking Kirsten Dunst, which isn't... Kirsten? I'm thinking her because I looked at I just bought Spider-Man 2 on GameCube today, but that's not it. No, it's obviously not it, because, I don't know what her name is. But anyway, so this is the type of LEGO game that they did after, I think Chima, Laval's Journey. No, actually, yeah, LEGO Chima Laval's Journey. That was the last one that had a particular style of LEGO game. And then we went on to LEGO Jurassic World, which I don't think was the first game to introduce this style of LEGO game. But it's a pretty cool style. It's more akin to the regular LEGO games. It's just condensed, which I think is a lot better. You know, smaller levels, you know, more quick gameplay. This is a fantastic game. A really great game. Probably my favorite handheld LEGO game. It's an absolutely fantastic game. Spent tons and tons and tons of time in it. It is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. We got LEGO Marvel's Avengers. Another game in that exact same style, and it's worse. The levels kind of drag on a bit. They're a bit longer in this. There's a hub world, which sounds cool on paper, but it runs at like 16 FPS because it's a hub world on a 3DS, and you have to like drive to each location, and it's just kind of dull. It's a little bit cooler in the console game because you have like you're exploring New York City and it's like this huge thing, but it's a really condensed New York City that runs really poorly. So it's like, it's not very fun. Lego The Hobbit. This goes back to the Lego Marvel Superhero style. You see right here, top down. So this goes back to the Lego Marvel Superhero style. It's top down. If you die once, you have to restart the level again. It's a really fun game, but you know, like I said, I kind of prefer this style better. But it's still a fun game. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for $16.99. I just bought this. I had this game originally, barely played it, sold it, and then I bought it back. Just because I'm in a Luigi's Mansion mood. I was watching some footage of Luigi's Mansion 3, and I'm like, man, I want to play a Luigi's Mansion game again, but I'm not going to shell out $60 for Luigi's Mansion 3, so we have the next best thing. Actually, the next best thing is Luigi's Mansion 1, but that one's like, what, $70, $80? So I haven't played a ton of it, but from what I played, I thought it was pretty good, which I don't know why I sold it then, if I thought it was pretty good. Who knows, maybe I'll try it again and I'll go, ew, I don't like Luigi Mansion. Mario Kart 7 for $19.99. Honestly, it's kind of funny. I watched my Let's Play of it. Like, when I was doing the polls, I went into my Let's Play of it, because that was one of the categories, was, you know, worst Jab Master 3DS Let's Play. And I remember when, on part 1, I said, this is my favorite Mario Kart game. This is probably the most forgettable Mario Kart game ever. I own this game, and there are times where I forget it exists. It is just very basic. And so basic to the point where, yeah, like, a lot of the times I forget this game exists. I'll remember Mario Kart Wii. I'll remember Mario Kart N64. I'll remember Mario Kart 8. I won't remember Mario Kart 7. It's just very, yeah. Fun game, but very basic, very bland. Mario Party Island Tour, pretty freaking great, actually. I think Mario Party DS is better, but my god, I have played so much of Mario Party Island Tour. This is a fantastic party game. And I've also played this with friends. Just great game. Really great mini games. I like how unique the boards are to each other. Just fantastic Mario Party game. Mario Party Star Rush for $24.99. Very interesting game. Interesting enough where I think it is pretty cool. But would I say it's like, oh, you gotta play this Mario Party game? No, it's interesting, but it's different. Maybe a little bit too different. But it's pretty cool. I like playing as Toad, you know. But it's, you know, kind of luck-based and stuff like that. Still good, but, you know, all Mario Party games are luck-based. New Super Mario Bros. 2, fantastic game. What am I talking about? No. Sorry, I have fantastic game on the mind. This is another New Super Mario Bros. Game that I forget exists. It is a very by-the-books, forgettable Mario Brothers game. I remember New Super Mario Bros. Wii, I remember New Super Mario Bros. 1, I remember 2 is just there. And that seems to be, you know, the basic reaction, the most popular reaction is that it's a very, very by-the-books New Super Mario Bros. Game, and kind of feels like they just made it just to put a New Super Mario Bros. Game on the 3DS. Persona Q New Cinema Labyrinth, absolutely fantastic game. I freaking love this. I played it for like 50, 60 hours when I first played it, and then guess what happened? I had to change SD cards because I need to get a bigger SD card, and the map data is saved on the SD card. So the second I went back into my new save file, or my old save file, I had no idea where I was because all the dungeon map data is on the save file. So I'm like in the middle of this dungeon, like, where the heck am I? Like, but really great game. The only thing I kind of have against it is it's all Japanese, voice acting wise. Persona Q, the first one. What was the first one called? Oh, what was the first one called? That's gonna drive me insane. Persona Q something. But that one had, you know, all English voice acting, which was cool, especially since, you know, you had returning voices from Persona 3. This one, it's all Japanese. I mean, it's not that big of a difference, but, you know, I'm assuming since it's a late release 3DS game, they didn't want to change it a whole lot since they knew it wasn't going to really sell well in America. Rabbids Travel in Time 3D. It's it's an early 3DS platformer, and you can tell. It is a very, very by the books basic platformer, but it's got some good music, got some fun gameplay, and is weirdly okay. I don't know if anybody else has had this issue, but it's really strangely what's the word called where you where you yell into a mic and it gets really chippy sounding, it's like a chirp, that's what this is. Sometimes if you collect too many items or hit too many boxes, it'll just the speakers can't handle it and it'll sound really gross. That's the only thing I have against that game. And finally, the last game to round this out, because it's already been an hour. Regular Show, Mordecai and Rigby in 8-Bit Land. This game sucks. It has one major issue that I hate about this. It goes for a 2D art style, but it's an art style that's so good it cannot be a 2D. It goes for it's an 8-bit game. Yeah, 8-Bit Land. Well, the art style is so good and the animations are so good, this would have to be probably a Sega 32X or Sega Saturn game. This would not be an 8-bit, 16-bit bordering on Sega 32X. The animations are that good. So, also, even though it's made by WayForward, it's not that great. There's a lot of annoying elements. This thing, in particular, you play as a spaceship, but you're in, really small corridors, and, of course, being, trying to be a difficult NES-style game, you one hit and you're dead, which is just perfect. So bosses are really annoying. Hit detection on bosses are really strange, and sometimes it'll just never work. The final boss is an 8-phase gauntlet where you're not supposed to get hurt once. I love it how I actually beat this game, and I kept on dying on the final boss, and I guess the game gave pity and actually spawned me on the 6th phase, which was really strange. After dying 10 times, it was just here, just finish the game already. We'll spit you out on the 6th phase. I like a couple levels of it, and it's cool that it's based off Regular Show. It's the only game based off Regular Show. And like I said, the first world does have some fun levels to it, but overall, this game sucks. It's really, really bad. Something I do like, though, is the manual. It's like a Sega Master System manual, which is really cool. Whoa. Alright, I don't like that. Get that out of here. But the manual's pretty cool. Okay, so that is, I guess, floor 1 of shelf 1 of my game collection. I really didn't expect this to take so long, but it's kind of cool. So floor 2 will come out later, or never. It really depends on my mood. So that's it. Goodbye.